Opening scene. A wide view of ancient Egypt. Pyramids in the background. Sun rising over the desert. Narrator. In a time long, long ago, the powerful kingdom of Egypt stood tall grand pyramids pierced the sky. Golden palaces shimmered in the sun, and the Nile River flowed through a land filled with both splendor and sorrow. But beneath the surface of Egypt's glory, a terrible injustice brewed. Cut to scenes of Israelite slaves laboring under the hot sun. Narrator. The people of Israel, also known as the Hebrews, were living in Egypt, but not as citizens. They were slaves, forced to build, to carry, to labor, with whips on their backs and sorrow in their hearts. The Pharaoh, king of Egypt, feared the Hebrews. Their numbers were growing fast, and he worried they would one day rise against him. Scene. Pharaoh consulting with his advisors, then issuing a cruel order. Narrator. So Pharaoh made a wicked decision. He commanded that every baby boy born to the Hebrews be thrown into the Nile River. A horrifying command. But even in the darkest times, hope can shine. Scene. A Hebrew mother gently placing her baby in a basket. Narrator. A Hebrew woman gave birth to a baby boy, a beautiful, healthy child. She couldn't bear to lose him, so she made a basket, sealed it tight with tar, and placed her son gently inside. With a trembling heart, she set the basket afloat on the river, praying that God would protect her child. Scene. The basket floats through reeds as music softens. A royal figure appears, Pharaoh's daughter. Narrator. And God heard her prayer. Down by the river, the Pharaoh's own daughter spotted the basket. When she opened it and saw the baby crying, her heart was moved with compassion. She knew he was a Hebrew child, yet she chose to raise him as her own. Scene. Miriam, Moses' sister, appearing nearby and speaking to Pharaoh's daughter. Narrator. The baby's sister, who had been watching from the shore, stepped forward and said, "Shall I find someone to care for the child?" Pharaoh's daughter agreed, and the baby's own mother was chosen to care for him until he was old enough to live in the palace. Scene. Moses growing up, learning Egyptian customs and Hebrew roots. Narrator. They named him Moses, which means drawn out of the water. Moses grew up in the palace of the Pharaoh, surrounded by riches, power, and privilege. Yet, deep in his heart, he never forgot where he came from, or the suffering of his people. Scene. Moses walking among the Hebrew slaves, troubled by what he sees. Narrator. One day, as a man, Moses saw an Egyptian taskmaster beating a Hebrew slave. Rage filled him. He looked around, and in a moment of fury, Moses struck the Egyptian down and killed him. Scene. Moses hiding, then fleeing into the desert. Narrator. When the news spread, Moses knew he was in danger. Pharaoh wanted him dead. So Moses fled into the wilderness, leaving behind every